What is up, everybody? Welcome to our playoff predictions. Well, just mine, because I'm the only one here today. If you remember last year, we also predicted the playoffs as well. It's been a long time since we've been doing a playoff video. Prediction video. I'm sorry about that. Haven't not really been wanting to do these, but next year we're going crazy on the prediction videos. One every single Saturday. You're going to see it every single Saturday. But you see, the NFC is on the left, the AFC is on the right. You know, it's supposed to be the other way around, but we will start with the NFC, and we'll start at the bottom game. You see the Seahawks and the 49ers right there. Now, Brock Purdy has played incredible in these weeks he's played. He beat the Buccaneers, which made me sad because, I'm a Buccaneers fan. And, I have to talk about the Buccaneers a little bit in this video. The Seahawks, they barely made the playoffs. They missed a game-winning field goal. They were lucky and got a little late lucky hit. Right. If you saw the play, Geno Smith got out of bounds, and Jalen Ramsey was right there. It's basically Geno Smith ran into Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey got called for a late hit, which gave them 15 more yards, and they won the game in overtime. So the Seahawks are in the playoffs. Packers lost last night to the Lions. Packers finished with losing record. Lions finished with a winning record. But the Seahawks make the playoffs. But I think Geno does not have he doesn't have a lot of momentum. I feel like he has momentum. He has a little bit of momentum after that win. But they're going to San Francisco, and I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I think it's just going to be too easy. All right, next up we have the Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, these teams faced each other in the regular season of this year, and the Giants almost beat them. And the Vikings. The Vikings did win that game by 3 points. 61-yard field goal, one of the longest of the year. And it's by Greg Joseph, so, even more surprising. This year has been full of surprises, and there's been a lot of teams that I did not expect to make the playoffs this year, including this Giants team and the team that we already talked about, the Seahawks. But the Giants, you have one of the best coaches in the league, Brian Daboll. He is definitely a Coach of the Year candidate. This team was projected to win 4 games, not 9 games, and make the playoffs. They were better than the Seahawks this year, definitely, and better than a lot of other teams that should have made it. But the Minnesota Vikings, they got Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. They won the last time they went to the playoffs, so they won the wild card round the last time they made the playoffs. They did lose to the 49ers in playoffs, though, but that was that Super Bowl team. That was that Super Bowl 49ers, even though they lost in the Super Bowl that year to the Chiefs. But I think Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins going to have a nice connection. The defense is going to play hard, and I think the Vikings are going to win this game. It's going to be a very close game. It's going to be like the game we had earlier in the year where, this game was 27-24, Vikings win. And, Giants are going to sadly lose this game, but I think the Vikings are going to win it. Right, we have Dallas and Tampa. Now, I'm a Buccaneers fan, and I did not, when we were down 13-0 to the Panthers, I got scared. I was 10-0, actually. I got scared. I was like, oh, no. We're going to be eliminated by the Panthers. And the Panthers are going to somehow make the playoffs. But we won that game because Tom Brady, Tom Brady, when he's down, he comes back right up. And we always win. Cowboys just had an ugly loss. If you guys are watching Red Zone, at the end, they didn't even show the final score and everything. That game was ugly by the Cowboys. They scored 6 points on the Commanders. The Commanders definitely ended their year off right. And you're saying, oh, Nolan, the Cowboys arrested their starters. Well, if you say that, then you didn't watch the game. The Cowboys played every single player on the team. The reason they did, because they could have gotten the 1 seed, and they staked at the 5. They're at the 5 seed originally, so they didn't move anywhere. But the Buccaneers, they might have went 8-9. Okay, we might have went 8-9, but I still think we can pull it off. and win this game. And we're going to be facing the Eagles in the playoffs. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. All right, we're going to go on the AFC side of things. We got the Dolphins and the Bills. Another team that barely made the playoffs, the Dolphins. They needed the Steelers to lose, and I believe it was the Patriots to lose. Well, the Steelers did win, but the Patriots did lose, so that's all that matters. If the Patriots lost and the Dolphins won, they're in the playoffs. If the Steelers won and the Dolphins and the Patriots lost, the Steelers would be in the playoffs. But the Steelers, of course, ended their record, winning record, so Mike Tomlin's record for streak. So I believe it's 17-year streak without a losing record. It's still not stopped. He's still got it. But the Bills, they just got off with a horrible injury, a horrible play that no one has ever seen in the world. This has not happened ever. Even other sports, this has not really happened. And Damar Hamlin, that was very scary. And they wanted that 1 seed so bad, but the Chiefs ended up winning versus the Raiders. But the Bills want to win the Super Bowl so bad for Damar Hamlin. If they win the Super Bowl this year, the first thing somebody's going to be tweeting is going to be for Damar. It's just what this team has gone through for the last week. It's only been a week, guys, since the injury. A week and basically 2 hours. Because I'm filming this at 6 o'clock on the dot. And about 8:10, 8:05, it's probably 6:10 right now. 8:05, 8:10, the Damar Hamlin injury happened. It's probably earlier than that. But I think the Bills are going to end up winning this game versus the Dolphins. Tua might not even come back, which is not good. Raheem Mostert broke his thumb, so that's their starting running back on, because he's doubtful to play this game. And the Bills, they're on a hot streak right now. I think the Bills are going to win this game versus the Dolphins. All right, now we got Baltimore versus Cincinnati. Another quarterback that's injured, Lamar Jackson. He's okay. We had some of the 2 best quarterbacks coming in the first 10 weeks of the season, but they both got injured in the first 10 weeks of the season, which was not good. And Lamar Jackson is the only reason why this Ravens team is in the playoffs. When they're without Lamar Jackson, I believe they won 1 game, and they've been without him for 5 games. They went 10-7, and they should have been maybe a 12-win team. Maybe they slide in that 5th seed, and they might have gotten the 3 seed if they won that game. But the Bengals are just red hot. We all know they made the Super Bowl last year. They are insane, and they're one of the best teams in the league. I think the Bengals are going to face the Bills in the playoffs. We have the Chargers and Jaguars now, guys. Everybody's saying Chargers are going to win, but I don't think so. I think the Chargers are going to charger like they do every year. Last year they lost to the Raiders off a game-winning field goal by them. They didn't make the playoffs. The Raiders did. And Mike Williams is injured because for some reason Brandon Staley in his own mind thought they could get a higher seed, but they couldn't. Now, I don't think they saw that the Ravens lost. Now, just in mind, the Ravens game happened before the Chargers game. The Chargers game happened right after it. So, of course, Brandon Staley got an alert by one of the team staff that the Ravens lost. So, they're like, let's bench all our starters. They played their starters the whole game versus the Broncos, and they lost. They lost to the Broncos. I think the Jaguars are going to win this game. I think they're red hot. Speaking of heart, they got the teams, the fans, the team got the heart and think they can win this game. And I think the Jaguars are going to face the Chiefs in the divisional round. If you think I'm wrong, this can go any game. This is going to be all these games are going to be close, guys. The only game I don't think might be close is the Seahawks and 49ers, but all these games are close. I think every single matchup is fair. All right, this is the divisional matchups. For the NFC, we have the Buccaneers, Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers versus the Minnesota Vikings. And then for the AFC divisional, we have the Kansas City Chiefs facing the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals facing the Buffalo Bills. But of course, we start at the NFC. And this time we're starting with the Buccaneers and Eagles. Now, last year, the Buccaneers were the 2 seed, the Eagles were the 7 seed, and the Buccaneers absolutely destroyed the Eagles last year. But this year, the Eagles got like 7 new players. 5 of them, I think, are Pro Bowlers. They got A.J. Brown. Their O-line is cracked. They got Hassan Reddick, who has gotten like 13 sacks this year. He's always had so many sacks. And they just got James Bradbury. They got Jalen Hurts as an MVP candidate. And I'm a Buccaneers fan, right? But I don't think we're going to make the Super Bowl this year, which I had, last year I picked the Bengals and the Buccaneers to make the Super Bowl, so I was right on the Bengals. But if you don't know what I did last year, I picked the Patriots and the Bengals to be in the AFC Championship. So, that didn't go too well. But I think the Eagles will sadly beat the Buccaneers in this game. I think the Buccaneers and Tom Brady just can't. I think Tom Brady can't beat the Eagles again because this Eagles team is way too good. It's in Philadelphia, and it's so hard to beat them in Philadelphia. So, sadly, I think the Buccaneers are going to lose and the Eagles are going to win. All right, we got a good game here. It's the Vikings-49ers. And remember how I said the 49ers beat the Vikings in the divisional round 3 years ago? Well, I think it's going to happen again. Well, yes, it will happen again because Brock Purdy is going to make it to the NFC Championship, and the Vikings are not. This is going to be a 10-point win for the 49ers. It's going to be a 34-24 high-scoring game, but the 49ers are going to pull it out. I just don't think the Vikings have that firepower in the playoffs. They come off almost a loss versus the Giants. If, of course, that happens, for my predictions. I'm just thinking the Giants and Vikings game is going to be super close. But the 49ers, Vikings, Brock Purdy is going to keep his streak alive, and he's going to win this game. And it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles versus the 49ers, the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed in the NFC Championship. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. And what I think is going to happen in this game is not going to surprise you. Sadly, this is in Arrowhead, not in Duval, not in Jacksonville. If it was in Jacksonville, my pick might be way different. But Trevor Lawrence, these teams faced this year, and the Jaguars were super close. They were very close to winning that game. But now they have a way better team this year. The years past, they've played way better. They went on a six game winning streak to make the playoffs. And I think, sadly, the Chiefs are way too good. You don't even need to talk about them because of how good they are. I think, sadly, the Chiefs will win this game. And they are going back to the AFC Championship for, it feels like, the 5th time in a row because they're just that good. And I think it is the 5th time in a row. They just, man, they're way too good. And Patrick Mahomes is with the team for, I believe, the next 7 years. So, yeah. Next up, we have Cincinnati and Buffalo. And this game is going to be one of the best games of the year. I could see it being a sort of a type of Chiefs versus Bills game last year in the divisional round, which the Bills are playing in for this game. Like I said, I wanted the Bills to do it for tomorrow, but, Joe Burrow has played incredible this year. I mean, incredible. MVP candidate, going at MVP candidate Josh Allen. But I just think the Bengals just have that championship power from last year, and it's going to sink into this year. There's a reason they went 12-5. Actually, they went 12-4 because of that cancellation of the Bengals game, because of great reasons why they canceled the game. because of Damar Hamlin, of course. But the Bengals, in that game, at the start of before the Damar Hamlin injury, in that game, the Bengals scored a touchdown in 2 minutes. 2 minutes versus the Bills. This game is not going to be in Cincinnati, though. That game was in Cincinnati. But this game is not. But I think the Bengals are going to win again, and they're going to go to the AFC Championship. Now, we have the Eagles and 49ers on the NFC side for the Conference Championship. And for the AFC Championship, we have the Chiefs and Bengals, like last year. It's kind of a boring pick. And the 49ers are back in the NFC Championship for the third time in 4 years. They can't stop making the playoffs. They're too good. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, has definitely been relevant. He is not irrelevant. He is relevant. He is a star quarterback for the 49ers, and I believe he will be getting a nice maybe 2-year, $30 million contract just because of how good he's played. And the Eagles have played well and great. There's a reason why they've won 14 games, including the Chiefs. But the 49ers just have that power, man. They've won 13 games for a reason. They went on, I believe, 10-game winning streak, or maybe it was a 9-game winning streak. I think it was 10 or 9. After getting CMC, they didn't lose a single game. That was such a big trade for them. Now, in that CMC trade, I didn't think anything would happen really because, CMC's great, but, I thought he was going to get injured again, but he didn't. He was healthy. He didn't get injured once this year. Deebo Samuel's back. I doubt he gets injured. I think the 49ers are going back to the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years. All right, we picked the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl. And now it's time for the Bengals and Chiefs. Now the Bengals have beaten the Chiefs for the last 2 years. They beat them in the AFC Championship. They beat them this year in Cincinnati. They actually beat them by 7, and then or 3 is 3 or 7, and then last year in the not the AFC Championship, but in Week 17, the Bengals beat the Chiefs as well. And I think that's the same outcome. I think the Bengals are going to beat the Chiefs 4 times in a row in the last 2 years, and the Bengals are going to go to the playoffs. Guys, I said that wrong. I meant the Super Bowl. The Bengals are going to stun the Chiefs at Arrowhead. The Bengals are going back to the Super Bowl for the second time in a row. And this is a classic Super Bowl. The 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals are going head-to-head in Arizona. And, the Bengals went to the Super Bowl last year. The 49ers have been to a bunch of NFC championships. But in 1982, this was a great Super Bowl, 49ers Bengals. And Fox is actually announcing this game, which if you don't remember, the 49ers went to the Super Bowl when Fox announced their game. So maybe a little superstition. Some people might think it's going to be 49ers Chiefs again, but I think it's going to be 49ers Bengals in the Super Bowl this year. But the 49ers, they're a great team. They're a great team, right? Brock Purdy, the defense is probably the best in the league, in my opinion. And yeah, it's definitely one of the best in the league. Maybe the best, like I said. Some definitely say they're the best, and I definitely think that as well. But the Bengals, man, they want to win bad. They want to win so bad. They lost sadly in the playoffs in the Super Bowl last year versus the Rams, and the Rams aren't here anymore. They face their division rival, the 49ers. So they can't get away from that, from the Rams division. The Bengals can't. But I think the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl this year. If you think I'm right, put in the premiere that Nolan is right. If I'm wrong, make a prediction video. You don't even need to talk. You can, if you have you don't even need to talk in the video. Just put a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? If you do not think the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl, but I have the 49ers Bengals in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to pick the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. Hopefully you agree with me. This is just my predictions, guys. Don't be mad at me. Don't say, oh, no, the Buccaneers are going to lose in the first round. Well, guys, it's my predictions, not yours. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I always love doing these videos every single year. This is the second time we've done it because, of course, this is the second year of my channel of us doing this kind of stuff. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to be a part of the GOAT gang. And we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.